Hey everyone, the Jose32 back again. Now it's time for some tech reviews. I'm going to be looking at the Blades tech reviews. I think one of my subscribers, CardMade2K, requested a review on the Blades Midnight Edition because she sent me a link to it. If not, I apologize, but I was going to review these anyway, so I might as well. These are the free decks that they've released. There's a Bicycle Silver Edition, which is the first one they released. The Bicycle White, I must be sick. I apologize. The Blades Silver Edition, which is the first one they released. Blades White Edition, which is the second one. And the most recent one, Blades Midnight Edition. So let's look at these. The front of the box is basically identical on all of them. It says Devo on top, which is the European magician that released these, and it says Blades. On the bottom there's this dark shadowy figure holding a sword in the middle here. No spade pips or anything like that. And it says playing cards in the bottom right hand corner, and the bottom left hand corner there's a symbol for their blades. And all three are identical basically, except the newest one. I don't know if you can see. This is the Midnight Edition. It actually has a moon, full moon in the background, and I find the graphics on it are a lot better, and you can actually see the figure a lot better than in the other ones. It's a little brighter, the colors on it. But other than that, basically the same thing. If you look on the side, this side has all sorts of things. This one says Devo's Blades Silver Edition. This one says Devo's Blades White Edition. And the last one says Devo's Blades Midnight Edition. On the other side, the first one says Handle with Care, which I find is very bizarre. I don't understand that. I always handle my cards with care though. This one says manufactured by the United States Playing Card Company, Erlanger, Kentucky. The only one that actually says that. And the last one says high performance finish, and I believe they all have the same finish, and which is basically a magic finish. And they were one of the first decks that came out with the magic finish. The top, they all say Blades. The very first one says Blades SE Silver Edition. But other than that, they're basically the same. The bottom is also basically the same. There's trademark information. There's a barcode. On the barcode it says Blades First Edition, White First Edition, and Midnight First Edition, which leads me to believe there will be possibly further editions of these decks. And there's trademark information, and these two say artwork by Handlords, which is, if you go to handlords.com, that's the website where you can find these primarily, although you can find them pretty much any card website. And in the back you see the back designs. There is the Silver Edition, the White Edition, which is basically the same except it has white and black instead of silver and black, and it actually has white borders as opposed to black borders. And then this is the Midnight Edition, which is the newest one, which is kind of has a redesigned back design. There's a lot less going on, and I find it looks a lot better, but I'm getting into those back designs in just a moment. The first one has nothing on the flap, or on these flaps. You open it up, first thing you have is a black card which is blank on one side, and it's an ad card for Blades on the other side with their symbol, and it says handlords.com on the bottom. Check out that website, that's where you can get them. And then there is a blank card with a back design in one of them. The back design, you can see, has these star blades in the corners. There's another one in the center with the blade symbol right in the very center. All sorts of details, and then there's these swords going through here. And there is the blades figure holding two blades on top and bottom. And I think there's like 15 or 16 different types of blades in here, but I can't make them all out, or I don't know what they all are, but there's lots and lots of blades, lots and lots of detail, almost a little bit too busy in the background on this back. And then as you can see, there's black borders, and that is an issue because they chip, obviously. And you can see, you may be able to see there's a little bit of chipping on them, but it's not too bad yet. The Jokers are a little bit bizarre because they actually have black faces, and they look like this. There's no reveals. It's the same guy on the card box. In one of the pictures, he's kneeling, holding his sword in front of him. In the other, he's, I believe, on his knees still. Actually, he may be standing, I'm not sure, but he's pointing his sword at you. And it says Joker on top, and then there's a J in the two corners. And there's also the Blades symbol on both of the cards, which you can barely make out. And they're kind of dark cards, but it's bizarre that they are black when the rest of the cards are actually, in fact, white. And actually, that's where this card kind of comes in handy. Could come in handy because you can use it as a blink card with the Jokers. I never figured out a trick for it, but you can probably do that. The court cards are a standard bicycle, basically, except that they're all red, black, and white. And the Hearts and Diamonds have black borders around the pips, which you can't really tell, but there is some black bordering. Face cards are all the same as standard bicycles. The black, as you can see again, red, white, and black, and it has red borders on the pips, which you can see a little bit. And I think they look pretty cool. Pretty nice looking. The Ace of Spades is not bad. You got this nice big spade pip with a, basically it looks like a claw. It's the hand of that guy busting through the spade pip. There's some cobras, cobra on either side. There's some artwork there on top as well. And it almost looks like the devil's ears or whatever you call them as well. And then it says Blades along the bottom. And the back design we already looked at. Handling wise, they dribble nicely. And all that other stuff spreads nicely. Like I said, it is, I believe, a magic finish on all of them. It fans pretty nicely, but you can see there's definitely some chipping on the cards. I don't know if you can tell, but I can certainly see that, and I think you can too. Other than that, they're pretty good cards, and they're not too dark or anything like that, like the Carnival decks or the Crimson decks, which I'm adding to my collection soon. But they are different, and if you don't mind this demonic type of a look to them, I'd say add them to your collection. They're pretty nice cards, and they're nice to have. They handle well, they look great, so why not? The second deck was the White Edison deck. This one has a star on the flap. It also has basically a blank card. On the other side, it's an add card, the same as the other one, except it's white. And it has a double backer. The back design is basically the same, except that it's now white and black as opposed to silver and black. And I think it's better because you can actually see the details better. The white and the black contrast better with each other than the silver and the black. And it looks much better, I think. And of course it has white borders, which is always nice. But it is basically the same design as the other one. Court cards and the number cards, everything is basically the same as the other one. The Jokers are the same, except they are indeed white this time and not black like the last deck. But basically they are exactly the same, so I won't spend too much time on them. The Ace of Spades is also the same, except that they removed blades. It no longer says blades on the bottom, but other than that, it's exactly the same. And that's what you get with that deck. It's all basically the same as the other one, except there's white borders, white Jokers, and the Ace of Spades doesn't say blades on it. Handles just as well as the other one. It spreads nicely and everything. Very nice deck once again. The third one has, like I said, some changes. Again, we have a star on the flap, and this one is completely black. It's the Midnight Edition, and we have that black ad card that's blank on one side, and then there's the ad card on the other, just like in the first deck. I forgot to put these in the box here. The back design is slightly different. As you can see, it's a lot less cluttered. It's basically the same overall design, except now you got this kind of a star, almost like a star on the whole back, and there's a lot less details and designs on it. It's a lot nicer looking, it's a lot cleaner. You can see details a little bit better and make stuff out more than you could in the other ones. Like you can see there's circles along the sides, more circles, there's circles in there. Also, the corners have this white on them, almost like the swords are piercing through them, which is pretty cool. You kind of have that on the other ones, but you can't tell. And of course, the back design is all kind of black and white, some gray on it, kind of like the last one. Same colors, but it's pretty nice. I like it. A lot less cluttered, like I said. And the cards are basically the same, other than they are black. Clubs and spades are black and white, as you can see. Court cards are interesting. They're basically the same, except they have, as the other ones, lots of black, red, and white. The hearts and the diamonds have red pips with white borders on them, as you can see, which makes them stand out and looks nice. For black cards, they have white indices, but they have black pips on them, as you can see, with red and white borders. Also makes them stand out. It's nice. I've never seen that on any other deck that I can recall. I may be wrong though, but I mean, it has nice black pips with red and white borders, and lots of nice red colors. They really stand out nicely. The Ace of Spades is basically the same as the other ones. It's a little bit, because of the coloring, it's a little bit darker, harder to make out, but they did make it more of a gray and silvery color. But it's the same thing. It does say blades on it again, and there is a symbol below it as well, which is different. And blades is actually written smaller than the first one, where it said blades in big writing. But it's basically the same Ace of Spades. And the jokers are also the same as the first one, because they are black again. So you can always do a trick where you change the back design. You do basically a color change, I guess, with these jokers and the original jokers. Again, the cards fan nicely, spread nicely, handle nicely, and they look nice as well. They look a little bit better than the other ones. Also, one thing I forgot to note on the back design is, in this one, you don't have this guy on him as well. That's another change. So that's what that is. There is one other Ace of Spades in this deck as well. It's similar to, it's a little bit different than the other one. And what it does have is, it does say blades and has that symbol on the bottom. It also has some artwork on the sides here. I'm not sure that's supposed to be smoking up. But then what you have is the guy that's on the front of the box is on the Ace of Spades holding a sword, and he's got the moon in the background. And it's an alternate Ace of Spades. You can use that for some kind of a gimmick or a trick, or change the Ace of Spades. It's pretty cool. I guess a lot of people were asking, why don't you put that guy on the Ace of Spades? So they did. It's a little bit different. It's kind of a fatter Ace of Spades, rounder, and the bottom especially is bigger, as you can see. But it's different. It's cool. Anyway, these cards are all pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed the review. And, you know, if you see any around, pick some up because they're pretty good to have. Although the black cards obviously are going to have chipping on the borders like usual. That, anyways, is the Blades decks, all 3 editions. And I'll see you next time for a card trick, so stay tuned.